What we have here is the Bazzaz fuel injection controller. This is the ZFI kit. We also have the air-fuel ratio self-mapping kit. When you order the self-mapping kit, you want to make sure that you order the bung for the oxygen sensor. This particular one is stainless steel. You can also get titanium. Let's open these up real quick. You have the brains of the unit. You have all the wiring. The cable for the USB to the computer. Zip ties. Instructions. Stickers. And then this was a special clip. This goes for the throttle position sensor. You'll see that later. Now, when you order this, you need to take this black cap off of the fuel injection controller because that's where the wires plug into. And on this one's really simple. What this black box does is amplify the signal coming off of the oxygen sensor. It has all the cables here, which will plug right into that controller. It has a set of instructions. Then it has the oxygen sensor. And that's why you need this, because you'll weld this to the exhaust system. So the first thing it says to do in the instructions is to take off the seat, gas tank, and both side fairings. So let's do that. So when you're taking your seat and your fairing off, take off your 2-up seat, remove these 2 bolts, push your seat forward, and this will come off. And then on your side, let's show this side, take off that bolt, there's a hidden bolt right up underneath here, and then there's also a bolt right down inside of here. Take that off and you'll end up with this. This pulls right out, just straight out. You'll have to kind of pull the back at an angle. It'll pop out of its holding sockets and undo the turn signal. Then you have the whole fairing right there, side piece. Let's take off the gas tank. So we just took the gas tank off. I had to have help to do this. It was very tight quarters. This had to be pressed in and then the high pressure line pulled off. Here. Hard to find this in a video. So I highly recommend to really look at this and get help when you're taking off the fuel tank. Also, I just filled up like 50 miles ago, so the tank's pretty much full. So I highly recommend either draining it to make it lighter and take your time. There's 3 hoses. There's this vent line, fuel line, and an overflow prevention that runs all the way down to the bottom. You got to take those 3 off, and they're not easy. So there's that. So what we're going to do is just install the wiring harness now. It recommends to install it from back here, forward, over, up this side, and hit all the wiring connections. You'll find most of them will be right here. Remove this sleeve, pull this up. There'll be a lot of them here that you'll just unclip and reclip with all these. Your grounding terminal will go into this right down here where all these green wires go. You'll just unscrew that, put your spade connector in there, and then bolt it back down. So let's put this together and see how it goes. So here's what I got so far. This is right here. Goes underneath the spar, down around here. And this is where it starts splitting off like an octopus. This one goes right down here to the ground. this section right up here goes around and intersects the injector. Then we have the throttle position sensor, which is kind of hard to get to. It's up underneath here. You can barely see it. And then underneath here is pretty much the rest of it. And then the power comes from right here. So I haven't zip tied anything. That's what I'm going to do next. And start putting things back together. So what I've done here is I've taken the tailpipe off, or the header. Some people would say it's just one pipe. Drilled the hole up here, welded the bung on, and remember when you do this, that this has to be up here, and you can't let it slide down here because you'll cuss yourself, and you'll have to cut that bung off, and then turn around and slide this up and weld it back on. Anyway, so I chose that location because there's no other easy way to do it. So run the wires down here, across here, and you'll see it'll be easy access to get to that oxygen sensor if I ever need to. There's no easy way to run it underneath here. No real easy way, at least. And plus it'll help keep the road grime off. And you want it up higher than the edge of this right here. So you'll see when I put this back together. What I'm going to do now is just wire brush around where I welded and paint that to flat black, the high temp paint, since I disturbed the paint that's already there, and put everything back together. And this is for the self-mapping system. That's an add-on to the regular fuel controller. Yep. So we'll be right back. So here's the O2 sensor installed. The wires here, we'll zip tie that up there like that, so it's nice and out of the way, you know. It's the whole point, so you don't really notice it. And while we're here, we're going to install a new air cleaner. And what you do is you take that screw out, and the screw out that's in there, and this cover will pop off. And it's pretty self-explanatory. A new one goes in. I'm going to be replacing that with the K&N air filter. For this bike, it's HA-2511. And, yep. So we're going to do that real quick, and then I will assemble the whole bike back together, and we'll just go from there. Here's the original one, and here's the K&N. It comes in a bag. It's pre-oiled, so you don't need to put any oil on this. When you wash any K&N air filter and you re-oil it, let it drip dry, or drip till all the excess oil comes off of it. Now, on automobiles that have a mass airflow sensor, there's a little tiny wire that zigzags in the mass airflow sensor. And if you put too much oil on this, it gets sucked into the intake, and that oil will sit on that mass airflow sensor wire. And what happens is on automobiles, they'll go through, and even on some motorcycles, not all, but some motorcycles, they'll go through a self-test check, and that wire will turn cherry red and burn off any debris. What happens is when if this oil gets on the wire in a lot of automobiles, not so much motorcycles, like I said, because motorcycles are a little bit different, you will burn that wire in half, and your car will not run right, or your gas mileage will get really crappy because that wire is burned in half, and it's not, the mass airflow sensor is not reading right. So anytime you wash and re-oil your K&N air filter, you want to be sure to let it drip, all the excess oil drip off of it. Just hang it up, let it drip off. Okay? So I have the bike on, and this is lit up. It's pretty cool. I didn't realize that was going to be all blue. And here's this. It's all up in here like this. That'll be underneath my books and stuff, but I already started it and it sounds awesome. I mean, I notice it, you guys probably won't, but it just sounds fuller, like it's, I don't want to just say it, maybe it's like a placebo or whatever, but it just sounds like it's getting more fuel. It's just unbelievable. I can't wait to go and take this home and ride it home, see what the heck's going on. But there's that underneath there. That looks nice and tidy. So you can't see my wires in there. So I'm going to put the seat back on. I left a space here, and there's a space right there where the bottom of the seat sits. So you want to see that little rubber pad in that one. They just miss all that stuff. So you want to make sure of that so you're not riding on the wires and end up cutting them in half. So I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to ride it home. I'll let you know what I think. So where we left off was I was going to take it out and give it a test ride. Well, it's a couple months later. It's the end of August now. And I just want to say, when I went to go take it out, I was trying to get into the throttle and it was spitting and sputtering, and I was just glad to make it home. And so what I did is I had to hook it up to the computer. And my laptop, I had to hook it up to the laptop. I put it in learning mode, rode it around for 2-3 miles, and brought it back, applied that fuel map, put it back in learning mode, took it out and rode it some more. And what you want to do is you want to go through all the RPMs and throttle position. So if you have your throttle at 3,600 RPMs in second gear at X number or whatever, you want to just try and go through all the gears and all the different RPMs in coordinates with all the different gears, and that'll make a really, really good fuel map. And since I have the O2 sensor up front, so it can go in the learning mode and it can self-adjust and make its own fuel maps. It's so nice and so easy. It gives me a lot crisper horsepower. The tone of the bike sounds completely different. It just sounds like it's getting more fuel. It just sounds like just solid, more there, more engine, more capabilities. I've taken it out on the road, and remember, I'm like 220 pounds, 230 pounds, 6'6", and I had it up to 92 mile an hour, and I believe that if I had a longer road, I probably wouldn't get much over that. That was probably about max. It was 92 mile an hour. It was about 95 degrees out, 98 degrees out. It was pretty hot. So I don't, it was on black pavement, so I don't know if that had something to do with it. If it was cooler, if I could get more bang out of the engine, if running colder air. I don't know. But anyways, the Bazzaz Fuel Programmer, I highly recommend. I think it's just a great add-on, and I wouldn't buy the Fuel Programmer unless you're willing to go and put the O2 sensor in. See it in there? Because the fuel map that comes with the program that you can download off their website, it worked, but the one where you put it in learning mode and it self-learns all of its fuel maps is far superior, absolutely far superior to the one that Bazzaz provides. And that's completely dependent, because I modified the exhaust, remember, and I changed the air filter to a K&N So all those factors change everything.